Hello, everyone. This is Larry here. It's been a while since I made a gaming video, so I figured I would game this brand new game I just got. This is 60 Seconds Reatomized. It's been out for quite a while, but you know, I figured it was on Steam and it was not too expensive, so I figured I'd get it and play it. I played through one game on the easiest mode, but I will do this on the hardest mode. Basically, this is a game of there's a nuclear apocalypse, and you have to survive as long as possible. So, let us start. Okay, I'm gonna do apocalypse. Oh, my character will be Ted, and we're going to do the hardest mode, which, whew. Yeah. Okay, so this will be fun. All right. So let's begin here. A lot of this will depend on how much I can get and toss in the shelter before the bomb goes off, and you only have 60 seconds to grab stuff and toss it in the shelter. Hey, Timmy. Oh, shoot. I guess I grabbed his book. You come. Oh, water. Need water. The controls are not too easy to deal with. Alright, we need Timmy and Dolores. Okay. Oh, well, that was happy. Oh, this could be pretty bad. Another canister. Gotta get to the shelter. Yeah, I guess I only got my daughter. Well, I only got one person. I missed my wife and my son. That didn't go too well. I found Timmy, but I couldn't grab him. Instead, I grabbed his Boy Scout book. Day one, it's just me and my daughter. At least two of us made it. If we only had a smaller house and less slippery floors. Our shelves are full of cans. We'll eat from cans. We'll sleep on cans. We'll even talk to cans. Some of us already do. There's just barely enough water for everyone. We will have to ration it strictly. There wasn't enough time to grab everything, but we have something to get started with. Hope it's enough. Alright, don't need to feed anyone. Obviously, Timmy and Dolores are gone already. Alright, we've been busy since we got to the shelter, but there's still much to be done, like trimming that shrubbery in our yard. That's definitely something we want to do when we get out of here. If there's a shrubbery left. Day 2. Well, I've survived 2 days. Already I get stubble going. We can make it work, even in Toronto. Question is, how do we find a boat to get there? We heard that's the best way to get to Europe. Ted seems to be doing alright, even though this world has gone to shit. Crappy place. Mary Jane is feeling safe. Who wouldn't want this coffin-sized shelter? Don't need to give anyone supplies right now. I'm going to need water. When I played on easy, I made it 60 days, and I ended up dying, like, the last two, Dolores and Ted, ended up dying from dehydration. The contamination of our town is still strong. Scavenging in these conditions could result in radiation sickness. Yeah, let's start. We need to get water. There we were thinking it's a day like any other down here. Mary Jane confronted us. She said it's her birthday, but she doesn't want to give. Not in this situation, not in this economy. Well, she's too young to be giving orders around here, so she's getting a birthday present, and that's that. We just need to pick out something. and I have none of those things to give her. Day 3. Alright. Mary Jane is too old for birthdays, that's what we think. If Ted doesn't drink anything, he won't last long. Water is what Mary Jane needs most right now. I can push it a day or two, so I'm going to just push it. And I'm going to send Mary Jane outside, and I will send her with the axe. Yeah, I'll send her with the axe. Goodbye, Mary Jane. Now, Ted, now I'm just gonna die of loneliness. Mary Jane went outside. Let's hope she hurries back. She took the axe. Ted looked like he got one foot in the grave. He needs to drink to get water right now. He will give Ted water. It's not easy to be calm in these circumstances. Hopefully, we will keep our peace, or else we might need to act like wolves. Survival of the fittest and all. I don't think this is going to last long because I only have 2 people. Being stuck in such a tiny shelter would make anyone a bit apathetic. We need to stay calm and await rescue. Surely they're coming for us, right? Ted's not thirsty. He's not hungry yet either. We found some weird mushrooms growing on one of the walls. Food shortage is no laughing matter, so maybe it would be a good idea to grab a mushroom bite or two. What's the worst that could happen? I'm gonna say no, just because it's only day 5, and I have plenty of food right now. I hear knocking. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound. I tried to make sure it was loud enough, but I don't know if it comes through on the video very well. We may be hungry, but there are still some things we'll never eat. Wall fungus is one of them. And now Ted is hungry. I'm gonna let him go a day. We had the most curious of visitors today. One of them was making the sound of a galloping horse using a pair of rocks, hitting them against each other while his companion was pretending to ride said horse. They claimed to be on a very important quest to seek some magical cup, only they lost their way in the wasteland. They asked permission to have a quick look at our map to determine their whereabouts. Too bad I don't have a map for you guys. Day 7. Although we tried to decline politely, the guests were clearly offended. They galloped away, waving their wooden swords and screaming something about cutting down shrubberies. Absolutely crazy. Oh. I need water and Ted. As we were considering alternatives to the canned soup diet, a sudden knock at the door broke our line of thought. It turned out we were visited by a band of survivors who were in pretty bad shape. All they wanted was to get something to drink, a bite to eat, or at least clean bandages and medicine to attend to their wounded. Yeah, I'll give them some soup. Maybe they'll give me something in return. Our visitors were in tears when we gave them what they asked for. We survived the nuclear apocalypse only to be nearly strangled by thankful refugees. Hugs can kill, you know. Luckily for us, they decided to continue their journey to get somewhere safe before sunset, and they were about to leave. As they were about to leave, one of them presented us with a portable radio. They would not take no for an answer and soon left, waving goodbye until they disappeared amongst the rubble. That's really good that we got a radio, because that can help. Not getting anything. We can keep sitting on our backsides here in this teeny little bunker, or we can start thinking about getting away as far as possible from this radioactive wasteland. Who would have thought the Reds would ruin such a lovely neighborhood? Reds, I'm assuming, means communists, not the Cincinnati Reds. I'm assuming it's not the Cincinnati Reds. We could do it on our own. That would be funny if they did mean the Cincinnati Reds. We could do it on our own, the escaping part, but not the ruining part, of course. However, there might be someone out there who can help us. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. Hey, we can use our radio. A phone is ringing. Okay. Day 9. We knew it. The government has not fallen, and they're coming to save us. They didn't give an exact dates in the radio transmission, but we're sure they won't keep us waiting long. They said they will be in touch in a couple of days and told us to await further instructions. Ted, you can go hungry for another day. We had thought phone calls were a thing of the past after the atomic bomb obliterated everything in our little town. However, a phone booth on our street survived the bombing somehow, and it seems it's ringing now. We should send someone to answer it. Yeah, I'll send Ted. What's the worst that can happen? When we answered the phone, we could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We had started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hope they will get back to us. Ted. Stop using the water. There's not much left. Before the world turned into an unforgiving dead wasteland, we were friends with almost everyone in our town, including Old Man Jim, who would shamble through our street often and always said hello. We wanted to visit him once. He gave us an address that took us to a park. Old Man Jim is such a joker. It appears he survived the blast, since he's at our door right now asking if we want to buy a rock. Yeah, sure. Day 11. Oh hey, Mary Jane's back. Oh, looks like she brought water. Old Man Jim was always friendly to everyone, so of course we opened the door and fulfilled his request. He winked at us and told us the first rock is for free, and we were happy to hear. A nice rock is a good thing to have, but we don't think we will be able to trade him any of our supplies for it, even if it brings the luck he claimed. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. Noises in our neighborhood could only mean trouble. We decided to follow them to their source and started tracking a group of scavengers. They weren't from around here, so we took the opportunity to liberate one of their backpacks. They had about a dozen more, so they probably won't miss one. Lucky find, there were some cans inside. Oh, it's soup. +1 soup. The sound of glass hitting glass while running with a backpack could only mean one thing: water. Hey, +2 water. We returned from the expedition, but our axe didn't make it. We spotted some sort of vehicle just down the street, but we couldn't get a good enough look at it in the dark. Maybe future expeditions will prove fruitful. Ted is fine. Jane's diet could use food. And Jane is sick. Great. You can eat. Our neighborhood is... yeah, we're gonna do another expedition. We heard something about supply drops on the radio. They might just be what we need to survive, and it's supposed to happen near our house. Should we go out and find out if it's really happening? I don't have a gas mask with me. Day 12. It was too dangerous to go out there without any protection, so we decided to stay indoors and listen to the radio. The static is so relaxing. Mary Jane's diet could use a little food. Who knows what will happen if we don't cure her soon. Mary Jane is still tired. She needs time to recover. She's very thirsty and has to drink something. Ted is fine. Fine, eat some more and drink a little bit. Is that? No, yeah, that was just the very last of the bottle. Well, I guess Ted's going out. We're not gonna take anything. You know what? No, take the empty briefcase. No, actually, we don't need to take the briefcase. Briefcase would let us take more things, but we don't need to take it. I don't know why I grabbed the briefcase. Oh, bye, Ted. Ted left for the surface. We hope he'll be back soon. Mary Jane is quite hungry still. If we don't find a cure soon, who knows what will happen. She's still tired. She's no longer thirsty. We can barely breathe in this damn shelter. For the last couple of hours, the situation has been getting noticeably worse. There might be something wrong with the ventilation system. Maybe it's stuck. If that's the case, we need to look into fixing the thing right away. Hey, luckily we did grab, accidentally, a Boy Scout book. I don't know what that sound is. Using the handbook to research vent maintenance seemed like a fair idea. We figured it's full of pointers on how to fix things. It must have a chapter on nuclear shelter air filtration systems. Before we could even check, we were invaded by a group of angry mutant insects which flew out of that cursed vent. Their stings hurt like hell and seemed to give us fever. Aren't there drugs we could give Mary Jane? When Mary Jane is tired, she becomes cranky. She should be better in a few days. She's no longer hungry. Finally, she's no longer hungry. What's that trickling sound? And why is the wall so wet? Are we about to get flooded? We don't have life preservers. Or a boat. A boat wouldn't even fit inside this shelter. We need to do something. Save the supplies. I guess we use the radio? Radio sounds, I hear. The radio was rescued first before any of that filthy liquid got into its case. It wasn't long before most of the water had disappeared, but the damage it had done was enough to upset us. Cleaning and fixing this mess will take us days. What's that smell? When Mary Jane is tired, she becomes cranky. She should be better in 3 days. She is all well now. Oh, hey. You should get her something to drink. I guess I'll give you a little bit of water. The more we know about what's going on outside, the better for us. Let's gather around the radio and see if we can tune into a station. Nothing, and nothing, and nothing. We could hear nothing but the annoying static. Better luck next time. Mary Jane is still tired. Let's give her some time to recover. Mary Jane is no longer thirsty, but at least she was cured of her illness. That's actually really good. We know very little about what's going on outside. It'd be a good idea to know more. Maybe discover if anyone else needed safety. A radio could help with this. The radio has come in pretty useful so far. Day 17. We were able to get a weak signal and tap into the government's emergency announcement service. And guess what? Great news. The fallout outside has mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface now. Yeah, when she's tired, she's cranky, she's quite hungry. Fine, I'll give you a little bit of food. There's never a good time to go out in the radioactive wasteland, but it seems this will become a necessity in this new world of ours. We thought it would be a good idea to make this happen sooner rather than later, and planned a trip outside. Before we could make a third step beyond the shelter doors, an unknown creature started growling at us in the darkness. We only had moments to decide what to do. I don't have a pesticide, a gun, or a flashlight. That sounds like a radio signal. It sounds like Morse code. In other circumstances, we might have risked battling a beast in the darkness, but for some reason we felt that it was not to our liking, so we screamed and screamed with terror. The creature was probably more afraid of us than we were of it. It left in a hurry. Mary Jane seems tired all the time. She has no energy for anything. Mary Jane is no longer hungry. Getting her something to drink sounds like the right idea. You know what? You're gonna wait a day. The army is on the radio again. They said they'll be scouting the neighborhood and need to find clear signs of survivors that are still alive. We were asked to leave cards on the nearest bus stop to mark how many people occupied our shelter. We should get going if we want to make it before nightfall. I don't have a deck of cards. Somebody's knocking on the door. funny. I'm like the teenage daughter is the one that's in the shelter making decisions right now because Ted's not here. Damn it, we missed our chance to let the military know where we were. There's a good bet they will get back to us again, but when will that be? Mary Jane has rested. She keeps fainting. We really need to find her something to drink fast. Fine, you can drink. Stop complaining. We were visited by a young woman today. She is on a mission to rescue her twin brother who went missing after he challenged a local bandit leader for a duel. She said they've been observing us for a while and they were hoping to visit us together eventually. But then her brother went missing. She asked that if we could help her reunite her with her brother, and promises we will not regret it. Yeah, I'll send Mary Jane. Hey, Ted's back, but he looks sick. It looks like he found a bunch of stuff. The woman quickly called a group of friends, and we set out for what turned out to be a successful mission. Finding the lost twin brother wasn't a problem. He was hanging on top of some antenna next to the fence trying to escape. In his duel with the bandit leader, he lost a hand, but the group quickly tended to his injuries, and he'll be just fine. The siblings thanked us 100 times and said they would definitely contact us again. Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface. Where to go for supplies? What a silly question. To the store, of course. We decided that bombs don't matter that much, and our favorite store should still be our #1 stop for groceries. We found it, or at least what was left of it. Most of the food on the shelves was outdated and rotten. A lot of eggs were smashed on the floor. Guess what? Soup cans don't expire until 2015. Good for us. I think this is set in in the Cold War era, so yeah, because if they expire in 2015, that's 5 years ago right now. So we got 4 soup cans. We found a shelf with a big sign that read, "Everything for 99 cents. The only thing left were bottles of water. Huh, expensive. I mean, 4 bottles of water, that's nice. There was a restroom in the back. Inside, we found a dead body next to a first aid box. Guess it didn't help. Hey, a first aid kit though. A gas mask was hanging in the wall. There was a sign next to it that read, "Is it safe?" So a gas mask. The vehicle down the street looked like someone's work in progress. We observed it from afar. Who could the owner be? We kept our distance for the time being. We may want to take a closer look in the future. This could potentially be our ticket out of here. Ted is hungry. Ted is really tired. He became infected with something. I'm gonna save the med kit for now, just to see if he gets better on his own. I will feed him though. Was Mary Jane? Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, Mary Jane's fine, so we can send her out. A woman came by. Yeah, I'm not giving her anything for water. I'm good on water right now, I think. Oh yeah, I'm good on water for right now. A woman came by with a creature she claims is a camel, provided that a camel has 5 legs. The animal is carrying a pack of goods for trade. 1 water for a checkerboard, 4 waters for a radio, 2 waters for a medkit, 1 water for bullets. I'm not giving up my radio or the medkit. Day 21. Hey, we made it past day 20. In the end, we decided her offers were not for us. Maybe another time, if she ever comes back. Ted is hungry. Ted keeps coughing and coughing. Ted is still mighty tired and needs more time to recover his strength. He's really thirsty, so he's hungry and thirsty. Mary Jane isn't worried, or at least she isn't saying so out loud. I still want to see if you recover on your own before I use the medkit for you. Mary Jane will go outside. You know what? We'll send her with a can of soup. No, I'm sending her with nothing. She can scavenge around. Ted's not better by day 30. Maybe day 25. I'll give him a med kit. Mary Jane went outside. Ted hasn't recovered from his illness. He's still tired. He's no longer hungry. A group of doctors knocked on our door today, requesting some supplies that would be helpful for refilling the first aid kits. We didn't doubt that they were the real deal for a second. They did have lab codes and everything. Shall we help them? Yeah, I'll help them. I don't want to get water back. Day 23. We asked them for their doctor's licenses, but all they claimed is that they left them in another pair of trousers. We didn't dare ask if it was just one pair. We gave them a water bottle and wished them a good journey. Better luck with trousers. Yeah, I'm going to use my med kit yet. We have plenty of distant relatives, but none of them mean as much to us as Auntie Elda. She lives in the country, so there's a good chance she's still configuring her cow counting machine and not worrying about nukes raining down on her hen house. Too bad we don't have a photo of her, or do we? We put some photos in books a while ago after the giant coffee spill incident. Yeah, let's check the scout handbook. Okay, we knew it. We found the photo between the pages of our scout handbook. Those handbooks are really handy, that's for sure. Something should be done about Ted's sickness. Instead, he still hasn't recovered his energy. He needs water to... Okay, so he's hungry, sick. Fine, I'll give him the med kit. Don't want him to die. Especially while Mary Jane is out. A sleazy-looking trader carrying an eco-scruffy bag on his shoulder paid us a visit. He offered us a simple one-time deal. For just one can of soup, we get the bag and all of its contents. We can't see what's inside, and the trader gives us angry glances every time we take a step towards the mysterious bag. Should we make a deal? You know what, I think I know what's going to happen, because I think I had this in my other game, and I think it's probably the same thing. I think I'm going to get a cat. So I'll give him a cat soup. Yep. Day 25. As soon as the door closed behind the trader, the bag started to violently shake, emitting screeching, hellish sounds. Terrified, we backed up against the walls. When the beast finally escaped, it turned out to just be an angry house cat. The feline gave us a menacing look and promptly sat down in the corner to clean itself. Its collar says Shark on it. Is that the name? Is that its name? Ted has rested. Ted has recovered from sickness. He's no longer thirsty and not hungry. Okay. Some door-to-door salesman found his way to our shelter. We remember him from before the apocalypse. He came over with a bunch of leaflets and tried to convince us to join something called Astro Citizen, but we refused. Now he just wants supplies and says he will reveal some state secrets to us in return. I'm not giving him my water. I tell you, with only 2 people to feed and give water to, your food and water lasts a lot longer. As a rule, we don't trust door-to-door salesmen, especially ones who attempt treason. We told him to go back to whatever planet he dropped to Earth from. He got angry and stormed off, mumbling something about how our souls are going to be devoured by alien Lord Yontar. Poor guy, he seemed very confused. Ted's not complaining today, at least not very much. Today we were visited by a strange-looking little man who introduced himself as a trader. He insisted his prices are so low that it's practically like cutting his own throat. The least we could do is take a look at his offer, although for some reason we don't really trust him. I don't have either of the things that he wants. And I wouldn't give him a gun or a med kit. Despite the desperate attempts to sell us all kinds of things, useless or not, and that we turned down the man's offer. It was probably for the better, and he did look quite untrustworthy. Mary Jane was supposed to be back in a few days. It's been too long. We fear something bad has happened to her. Well, I guess Mary Jane's gone. I guess it's just Ted. Okay. I don't know if doing an expedition's a good idea with only one person left. But you know what? Let's do it. We could really use some more supplies. We counted all of them today, and the numbers did not make us happy. Time to do something about it. We know that a teacher from the local school managed to rescue a bunch of kids and then lead them to a nearby building where they're relatively safe, and we could really use whatever they have. We could really use it, right? Yeah! I just got an achievement called the Dark Side. We went, got what we needed, and came back. We're sure that group will do just fine. Most probably. Yeah, absolutely. +1 map. While playing in the shelter, Sharkup stumbled upon a small wooden box that was hidden behind some loose bricks. It contained some useless memorabilia and a can of old bug spray. Ted isn't thirsty anymore. Alright, Ted, we're gonna send you. We're gonna give you the gas mask. No, you know what? We'll give you the briefcase and a gas mask. Because we kinda need you to survive. We might skip ahead several days. Day 29, day 30, day 31, day 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Hey, Ted made it back. We just jumped ahead to day 36. Ted left for the surface. We hope he's back soon. Equipment, yeah. Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface with +1 briefcase, and it looks like the mask got torn off. We went on a trip to a more specific place this time, a local museum on Tranquility Lane. Several rooms in the corridor wall were decorated with some charred paintings that survived the blast. The whole place doesn't even look that bad. It's almost like a modern art exhibit. In front of the museum canteen, we found a box with some water bottles in it. It was probably left there by some delivery company. That delivery company is probably out of business now. Our guess is it was blown out of the market. Well, we got 2 waters. We were hoping for some sweets or snacks, but all the museum canteen had to offer was tomato soup. Those poor tourists, +2 soup. Damn, our gas mask was damaged during the expedition. Yep. It may sound paranoid, but we think someone followed us. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again. Ted is hungry, he's tired and fatigued. At least he didn't get sick. No, there's no way I can even do an expedition. We can't send Ted out in his current state. Are the walls closing in on us? Is the space getting smaller with every passing minute? We need to get out of here. Now, open the door. Open the damn door. I'm gonna say no. I'm surprised I've made it this far. Oh boy. Keeping the door closed was the right thing to do, but the tensions are rising in our teeny little shelter. There's only 1 person left. Ted is hungry. Ted still hasn't recovered his energy. Ted has gone crazy. Oh boy, Ted's crazy. Is he thirsty? Yeah, he's still hungry, but not thirsty. No, I'm not sending Ted out in his current state. While trying to pet the little devil, we found a piece of paper on its collar with an address scribbled on it. Could be the previous owners still around and are worried sick. Chances are slim, but maybe we should pay them a visit, or at least whatever's left of them. No, I'm not going to do that because I don't want Ted to go out and get injured in his current state. This cat belongs to us now. It's our new dear friend and a valuable addition to our bunker. We managed to use it as a pillow for a whole 10 seconds yesterday before it almost scratched our eyes out. Clearly, it's very fond of us. It's staying, that's final. Ted's mental health worries us all, but we don't know how to help him. Ted is still tired, but a few days rest is what he needs. He's no longer hungry, but he's really thirsty. Well, Ted, you have plenty of food and water. When attempting to empty our bucket in front of the shelter, we discovered a hastily drawn map on one of the ruined walls. Somebody drew out a route to a marked spot at the end of it. Maybe there were supplies hidden there. Should we check it out? Yeah, Ted. You're crazy. Go on out. There's a bloody handprint on the wall. We were lucky to have spotted that map. The spot marked a small hiding place, and we found some useful supplies there, plus one harmonica. Ted isn't acting normally. Sometimes his behavior is pretty disturbing. He's pretty tired and needs more time to recover his strength. Not sending him out. It's hard to keep track of time down here. We can't tell if it's night or day. Our sleeping patterns are messed up. Terrible light bulbs are not helping. Too bad we can't replace them. There has to be something we can do about this. I don't have a med kit, so... Bravely ignoring our symptoms, we tried to get at least an hour or two of sleep. No luck. We're even more tired than we were, and there are other problems we'll need to face soon. Let's just hope our yawning will be enough to scare raiders away or save us from radiation sickness. Ted's mental health worries us all, but we don't know how to help him. Ted is still tired. A few days of rest, he's hungry. The army is on the radio again. They said they're scouting that neighborhood to find signs of survivors. We were asked to leave. Yeah, I don't have cards still. I would leave them if I had them. I'm surprised I've made it to day 41, honestly. Ted's beard got really long all of a sudden. Damn it, we missed our chance. Let the military, yeah. Ted's mental health worries us all. He's mighty tired and needs more. He isn't hungry. He's thirsty. He's got plenty of water and food. During our last expedition, we finally approached that nearby vehicle. It was a tank, missing wheels and a few other crucial components. The outside was rusty and a little burnt up. If we hope to ever drive away from here, we should scavenge something to reinforce it. Anything? Yeah, I don't have any of those things to even help. Day 42. I've made it to the day of life, the universe, and everything. We're just not ready to risk our necks or precious supplies on this dead end. Even if we fixed up the vehicle, who would drive it without a license or registration plate? Madness. Ted's mental health worries us all still, but he is perfectly fine otherwise. We've been hearing some soft scratching noises in the shelter at night. We thought it was just the wind, but we were wrong. It's the cat. It's not really doing anything naughty. It seems like it just squeezes through some holes in the wall and makes its way outside. We're not sure where it goes during these secret trips, but every morning it's back in the shelter like nothing happened. Should we follow it next time it sneaks out? Yeah, let's follow it. That's not here. Sharkov took us to an old junkyard that's inhabited by a lone resident, a self-proclaimed scientist living in an old bus, converted to a lab to conduct his experiments. The doc seemed happy to have his pet back, although the cat showed no enthusiasm at the prospect. We exchanged some small talk, but the truth be told, we were kind of in a hurry to get out of here. The scientist didn't seem completely sane. He mentioned something about escaping the wasteland in a spaceship. Ted's mental health worries us all. Ted might be tired. He's not hungry or thirsty. Our supplies are scarce and morale is low. You can almost smell the desperation in the shelter. We're pretty sure there's a small group of survivors nearby, mostly old folks from the retirement home. It shouldn't be hard to borrow some of their supplies. They're old anyway, and we need them more, right? Yes. We went, got what we needed, and came back. We're sure that the group will do just fine. Most probably. Yeah, absolutely. We got one check report. Ted's mental health worries us all. He needs more time to rest still. He's really thirsty. Not doing expedition. We were looking through our map and we came across a few markings that were not original. Someone has added a pointer to a location near us. What would we find there? We don't know. Maybe it's worth sending someone to check it out. Why not? We weren't sure if we would be able to find whatever was hidden by the author of the map directions, but soon enough the pieces started coming together. After an hour of digging at the local park, or rather what was left of it, we came across a working flashlight, just what we needed. Ted's mental health worries us all. He's still tired. His stomach is rumbling. The other day we heard a quiet knock at our door, but when we opened it, we only found a suitcase on the doorstep, and there's no one around. It isn't signed, but it sure looks like it was meant for us. Should we check out what's inside? Yeah! We gladly accepted the sudden gift despite our suspicions, and it turned out the regular tomato soup we all know and love. Thank you, kind stranger. So +1 soup. When we woke up today, we discovered that Sharkov had somehow found its way back to our shelter. Does this mean it'll stay for good? We're not sure what exactly transpired between the little guy and its owner. We asked, but it wouldn't tell. Yeah, Ted's mental health worries us all. He's quite tired still. Man, he's still tired. We never thought we'd live to see a dancing cockroach. We still haven't, but we saw one that was nearly as big as a cat. The good news is they've probably scared off any rats in the area. The bad news is they are huge and will probably attack us when they get the chance. I will use the bug spray. That was close. A nest of those glowing bugs might have been more than enough to drive us out into the wasteland. Roaches are the worst, but radioactive roaches, yikes. -1 pesticide. Ted isn't acting normally. Sometimes his behavior is pretty disturbing. He has rested now, though. He needs water. I could send him out into the wasteland. It would be a serious gamble, though. Yeah, we'll do it. Loud crash, a surprise shriek, and a bit of debris falling from our ceiling. Truly a recipe for a good start of the day. As it turns out, Sharkov found a new toy, a bit of innocuous wiring that it ripped out of the wall. Who knows what the cable's for, but our lights are still on, so it can't be that important, right? Should we take the wire away from our fluffy friend and investigate it? Yes. Followed the wire outside and found a half-burned-out truck with 2 surprised gentlemen inside, surrounded by an array of blinking bulbs. That's some space tech right there. Were they listening in on us in our buried shelter? Their feeble excuse about a roadside picnic didn't convince us. Even Timmy knows you can't have picnics here. Timmy's dead since like 48 days ago. And the car has no wheels. Ted's mental health worries us all, but we don't know how to help him. He isn't thirsty. Alright, Ted. go out with the briefcase and the flashlight. Day 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Uh-oh. Ted left the surface. We hope he'll be back soon. Equipment, he took the briefcase and the flashlight. Ted has been outside for far too long, and he has still not returned. We fear he isn't coming back. Of all the places we could have perished, this is probably the best one, or maybe not. We survived for 54 days. Here's a recap of the 54 days. Fun and games, and then Ted did not return at day 54. I lasted longer than I thought I would have with only 2 people. 54 days survived, 3.25 waters consumed, 3.25 food consumed. Didn't have to defend my shelter at all. We had 3 of 5 successful expeditions. Yeah, the 2 that weren't successful, we died on. Items brought from expeditions, 17. That was pretty good. No decisions, 3. Yes decisions, 6. All right, that was pretty good. End adventure. So yeah, that was my good attempt there at the hard mode. So I will end this video here. Thank you all for watching. It ended up being longer than I thought it would have, because I thought I was only gonna last like 20 days. So it's a tank there. Yeah. Alright, well, anyway, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.